Well, the Mark IV 1967 Le Mans winner is significant for the Henry Ford's collection because it was the first All-American team, All-American car that won Le Mans.
That was the second of 4 consecutive victories by Ford race cars. Henry Ford II wanted to get into auto racing. He wanted to get into sports car racing. He actually tried to buy Ferrari, and that didn't work out. Ford decided, if I can't buy you, I'll beat you.
It was a very important project for Mr. Ford. He was very, very interested in winning the race at Le Mans.
And they launched this amazing full-bore effort to win not only the Le Mans 24-hour race, but the World Sports Car Championship in general.
So for us, it's a great transference to the United States as far as technology. It's a wonderful story about teamwork. It's a great story about collaboration. And foremost, it's a great story about the process of innovation, all through the lens of American racing.
Working with Carroll Shelby was actually an honor for me because I had already respected him as the chief race car builder at that time. He had already produced his versions of cars and competed with them as a driver. It was also an honor to work with the 2 drivers that brought this car across the finish line, A.J. Foyt and Dan Gurney.
They're both tall, but Gurney was taller than Foyt. Gurney was about 6'4". And when he first got in this car, he was kind of scrunched over like that. So they put the bump on the roof. The key innovation in this car is the way the chassis was put together. The previous cars that Ford had built were made out of aluminum sheets and what's called a monocoque structure. This is also aluminum, but it's a honeycomb structure. One of the other keys to this car is the aerodynamics. It was very carefully tested in the wind tunnel. It's among the last of the big endurance sports cars that was built before wings began to be widely adopted. And so it looks very clean compared to the cars today because there's no external wings. It's also one of the first ones, though, to have the driver's compartment shrunken in. So you see that it comes down and there's kind of a shoulder that goes down to the side of the car. One of the little features that I love about this car is the tail lights. When you look at them closely, you realize they're 1960 Chevrolet Corvair taillights. I think it was kind of an inside joke on the part of Ford. The only part of a Chevrolet that you were going to see was the taillights, and they were on a Ford.
And what better car to have the Dan Gurney, A.J. Foyt, Carroll Shelby combination to represent sports car racing. And there's that peak, during that era of the 60s of winning Le Mans that Ford did that.
I never dreamt at the time that the design and shape of the car would become such an icon.
It's a sophisticated chassis, not a terribly sophisticated engine. The engine that they're using, a big 427 V8, was based on their NASCAR engine.
The engine was built in Dearborn. The car was designed here by a fabulous team. Mose Nolan, an engineer that worked for Ford too, is still around today.
The mentality of the Ford employees that was connected with the program, and even those not connected with the program, was a tremendous morale booster for the company and for their daily tasks.
So we tell this story of collaboration because we want kids to learn, we want people to learn that you just can't innovate by yourself. You have to take ideas from everywhere and bring them together. This is the year that Dan Gurney took a champagne bottle and sprayed it, saying he won the Le Mans race. That's where the tradition came from for all race car drivers.
It is our representative of world-class sports car racing.
The program importance to me this day, 40-some years later, probably means more to me now than when I was involved with it.
The coolest thing that actually came out of this is tradition and the process of innovation.